Hello, friends, and welcome to this excerpt from a conversation I had with Kyohei Mikawa, a fellow Buddhist YouTuber and a grad student right now at the University of Chicago's Divinity School. We talked about The Matrix, why I chose to make a video about that movie. I'll link to it to my original video below, but you don't have to have seen it. Basically, I'm going to geek out in this episode about Buddhist epistemology, how we know what we know, and why The Matrix is a perfect illustration in fiction of the big questions that I think Buddhism asks really well.
Why was it Matrix and your expertise of Tibetan Buddhism, other than like a different movies like, I don't know, like anime, Demon Slayer, or like a Titanic, or any other Batman or something, any other movie, but
Yeah.
Matrix, and also, just not to be as a spoiler, but could you a little bit introduce how your discussion there in that video is connected to your study and practice of Tibetan Buddhism?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, there's so many movies that are just full of Dharma, basically. But
Oh,
part of the reason I chose The Matrix, honestly, is that it came out at a time, I think it was 1999 when it
yeah.
came out. I was just like diving deeply into Buddhism at that point. So I'd been practicing for a couple of years, but I had just graduated from college. I was in Thailand in the middle of a trip in which I assumed I was going to become enlightened.
Mm,
I was like, I'm going to go, I'm going to meditate, I'm going to like do retreat. And then, maybe like a year or something, I'll probably be enlightened. I'll come back, I'll help everybody else become enlightened. Did not happen that way. But I think I saw it at a time when I was very like open, to this artistic representation of really questions about reality.
mm,
And I think part of the reason it resonated with me and that, Buddhism in general and Tibetan Buddhism also resonated was like, oh my God, there's people asking the same questions about
mm,
reality. And I think for me, the way the Matrix expresses it, it's really entertaining, but there's also something profound. The idea that we're all basically having a hallucinatory or dreamlike experience together. And if you wake up, reality looks very different. I think that one is profoundly Buddhist. There's a saying for those who are interested in Tibetan dream yoga, which obviously is an advanced
mm,
practice, and you're not going to find legit dream yoga on YouTube
mm,
probably, but one of the ways that you can cultivate a very simple version of that is just to walk around all day thinking this is a dream, this is a dream. And it's not that, the world doesn't exist, it's not real, whatever. If you're dreaming, all those people are real to you. It's
mm,
just they're all coming from your own mind.
mm,
And as we walk around all day, interacting with other people in the real world, again, it's not that there's nothing there, but I think what Buddhism is saying with this doctrine that we're walking around in a dreamlike state is that we don't even realize how much we're projecting onto the world around us. I look at this and my brain automatically goes water
mm,
bottle. I automatically recognize this as the shape of Texas and this as a little heart. Like,
mm,
that's not anywhere in this. In a Tibetan perspective, all I'm seeing is shape and color. And from shape and color, I'm constructing all the meaning. For anyone listening on the podcast, I'm just pointing at my purple water bottle with a sticker on it that has a little shape of Texas. It's evoking these very powerful senses of identity. And I'm somebody who drinks from a water bottle from REI. I mean, that automatically locates me in American society.
mm,
It's a dream,
mm,
you know? And I think to me, when in the Matrix, when people wake up out of the Matrix and they suddenly realize this whole time, everything they thought they knew, it was all basically a dream. I think to me, it really speaks to that sense that there is something real that's more real or something that goes beyond the experience that we're living. I think, what's different is that Buddhism
mm,
says when I take the same water bottle, it's not that if I were to peel it away somehow, there's another reality behind it. It's if I could see it clearly, that's the other reality.
I
At
love
the
that.
end of the
Right.
day,
Yeah.
it's atoms, it's subatomic
Mm.
particles. I touch it and it feels solid, but that's because the electromagnetic field of my finger and the electromagnetic field of the plastic are interacting with each other, not because there's a thing that's solid and immovable there.
I see. I see. So it's one of the human mind's tendency of associating or the constructing all the imaginations based on your desires and attachments, so on, sort of deprives of your ability to see what you're encountering as it is, seeing things as it is. So it's part of the practice you're promoting in Tibetan Buddhism is to, what is it like, how to remove those obstructions, or like how to
Yeah,
say, how do you
yeah,
approach that sort of all the mental construction? It's really the power of mental construction. I feel is really, strong.
yes.
Like this morning, I was about to shovel, but it was so cold. I mean, minus 15 degrees in Celsius, or zero or
Oh,
something in Fahrenheit too. So all of a sudden, I had a determination. Okay, I'm going to shovel because it snowed a lot last night. But my mental construction is going to be so cold. Kyohei, are you
yeah.
sure you want to do it? Like a Agent Smith in my mind attacked me back, and I was like Neo, like defeated by, okay, maybe I'm gonna postpone it later into the afternoon or something like that. That kind of mental construction is so powerful. How can I, approach that? Do you have any like approach from your viewpoint to that kind of everyday mental constructions?
Yeah. Well, to get a little bit nerdy here, in the Tibetan philosophy of mind, Tibetan
Mm.
epistemology, they talk about generally characterized phenomena and specifically characterized phenomena. And generally characterized means I've seen thousands of water bottles, and when I look at this specific water bottle, I don't see it. I'm projecting onto
Mm.
it all the ideas I've ever had about water bottles in my life.
Mm.
So so it's like a neurological shorthand. Our brains as humans are really good at that because we have to survive. Like if a lion is chasing us, we can't be like, "Wow, look at the incredible detail on that large furry." We're eaten too late.
Right, right.
So the first step really
Mm.
is to even notice that we're not noticing the individual specific things of our life.
Mm.
To notice, that science calls it invariant representations, that we have these representations in our minds of a water bottle, for instance, of the car, of my partner. And the reality is all of those are changing subtly all the time.
Mm.
If I just assume that my partner is the same way he was this morning, maybe I'm going to miss a slight change in his mood, or maybe there's something going on, and if I notice it, we feel connected, and if I don't notice it, I'm not actually seeing him. So that's kind of, to me, where that where the rubber hits the road with this idea that we can have invariant representations, that we can have our version of the Matrix just playing out over and over again.
Mm.
It's just life on a loop until you kind of start to investigate and to wake up and to notice.
I see. I love that. So invariant, I was taking notes, so new terminology over here. The general and specific, how to say, perception and encounter with the world. And you're saying that invariant representation. So in a way, the goal of doing that is like, if you keep like projecting a generalized, so sort of karmic representation onto the
Yeah.
world that you're
Yes.
encountering, that's not like you're not actually meeting with the world, meeting with the reality, but
No.
meeting with yourself in the form of general representation. So the goal then, the suggestion you're doing is that let's, how to say it, let's enjoy fully each moment of your experience by not projecting your mental construction onto what you are encountering, but cherish each moment of your encounter as it is. That's why it's important that curious people learn with you the Buddhist teachings and practice meditation, but for the sake of not just learning to be the intellectually, intellectual hero, heroine, or like a meditation master or something. Not only that, but primarily the goal of your practice is to, how to say, make your everyday life more meaningful with others.
Exactly.
Very practical.
Exactly.
I love
Yeah.
it. And your theoretical epistemological, Tibetan Buddhist epistemological background really supports, it really underpins the reason why that practice of meditation and learning is important. It totally makes sense. And I didn't know that, that Matrix video you made, like like 5 or 6 minutes long?
Yeah, it's very short.
but your intellectual and the practical epistemology learning and understanding and the meditation practice really is in the rich, boundless background of that, Eisner Tipberg manifested in the wonderful Matrix video. I really appreciate that input. That's fascinating.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I try never to say epistemology in my videos because people just be like, I don't even know what that is. But yeah, but there's all this background, and I'm sure for you it's similar. There's like all this background, and you try, and I think the tip of the iceberg is really accurate, What little piece of this can somebody relate to and maybe even use in their daily life? And, for me, like the word that's often, well, even the word Buddha, it's based on the Sanskrit word bud, which means to wake up. So the fact that people are waking up out of a dream world, I think it just sets the Matrix up as a really good illustration of the Dharma.
Right.